We spend so much time talking about budgeting, how to cut expenses, how to optimize expenses, how to stop lifestyle creep. But here's the truth. Your budget isn't the most important financial decision you'll ever make. And if you optimize everything inside a bad structure, you still feel stuck. Because there are three money decisions that matter way more than your budget. And if you get these wrong, no spreadsheet is ever going to help you feel ahead. So let's talk about them. Most people try to fix their finances by tweaking categories. They cut coffee, they cancel subscriptions, they move numbers around. But if the big structural decisions aren't aligned, you'll always feel like you're managing pressure instead of making progress. So let's zoom out. Your housing decision will impact your finances more than almost anything else. Rent or buy, location, size, amenities, whether you stretch for just a little more. Housing is the largest fixed expense most of us have. And fixed expenses are powerful because they don't change month to month. If your housing costs are too high, your budget becomes reactive. You're constantly adjusting categories, cutting small things, trying to make everything else fit. And here's the part people don't like hearing. You can't out-budget an oversized house payment. No amount of canceling subscriptions will fix a rent or mortgage payment that eats half your income. And I'm not here to debate rent versus buying. That's not what this conversation is about. This is about alignment. So you need to ask yourself, does my housing cost support my long-term goals? Or does it force my budget to survive every month? Because truthfully, once your housing costs are set, everything else just gets built around that. The second decision that matters more than your budget is transportation. When I first got my car, I audited whether or not I could afford it, but I only really considered the car payment. I didn't fully think about insurance, which can range from an additional $150 to sometimes $300 plus a month, and the price can change depending on your location. I thought about gas, but it was kind of an afterthought. But you want to know what I definitely didn't think about? Maintenance. That one humbled me really quickly when I had to pay out over $700 when my car froze over during my first winter of having it. Completely my fault, but still expensive. My point is, a car isn't just the car note payment. It's a lifestyle commitment. And this is where optimization gets uncomfortable, because upgrading your car feels like progress, but locking yourself into a high monthly payment reduces flexibility. And flexibility is literally financial power. When transportation costs are high, you have less margin, less ability to invest, less room to pivot careers, which is a conversation for another day, and just overall less room to breathe. You cannot spreadsheet your way out of structural expenses. So now ask yourself, is this car aligned with my income or my ego? I'm not saying never upgrade your car. I'm just saying understand the full trade-offs before you sign paperwork. The third decision that matters more than your budget is the lifestyle you choose. Recurring obligations, luxury apartments, high-end gym contracts, frequent travel expectations, subscription stacking, clubs, you get the point. Monthly commitments feel small individually, but collectively, they're dramatic. Here's the thing about lifestyle creep. It doesn't feel dramatic, it feels incremental. You upgrade one thing, then another, and suddenly your baseline cost of living is high. Your budget didn't fail, your baseline just shifted. Now you need to ask, if my income stayed this exact same amount for the next 2 years, would I be able to comfortably afford my lifestyle? I'm not saying don't get the nice apartment or don't join the high-end gym. I'm just saying the reality is most of us can't afford all those upgrades at once, especially while we're still building our careers. For me personally, I value my living space. I'm a homebody, so I don't mind paying a little bit extra for a nicer apartment with amenities. But I drive a 2016 car that's fully paid off, low mileage, and works perfectly fine. Could I afford a brand new car? Probably, but I would have to scale back my investing goals, and that just doesn't align with what I say matters to me. So instead, I'm setting aside money for a down payment. That way, when I do decide to upgrade my car, I'm putting a good chunk of money towards it, so my payments are really low and manageable, and I'll be able to pay it off fast. Because lifestyle commitments are quiet, but they compound. Budgeting is about managing what's left. And these three decisions decide what's left: housing, transportation, lifestyle commitments. Your budget is a tool, but structure is strategy. You don't optimize your finances by cutting coffee. In fact, I actually hate when people suggest cutting back on coffee as a way to get better with your money, because what? You optimize by designing a life your income can comfortably support. And when your big decisions are aligned, budgeting stops feeling restrictive and it starts feeling simple. So before you obsess over another spreadsheet, ask yourself if the structure makes sense. Don't just tweak categories, evaluate the foundation. If this was helpful, make sure you like and subscribe, because we're not just budgeting over here. We're building systems that actually support real life.